This is a special video tour for Paddy Row. We're starting here at Darling Harbour. This is the Piedmont Bridge that goes from Darling Harbour across to the city of Sydney, which you can identify by the big tower over there. I rode across this bridge on my bike ride from Granville in the inner or probably outer Sydney suburbs, about 30 k's out, so about 16, 17 miles across this bridge into the city. We're going to head up towards the Piedmont Bay ferry wharf to catch the ferry back to Circular Quay. Alright Paddy, you want to see girls? Here's a girl on bike for you. As we approach the Australian Maritime Museum. Here's a better view of Sydney Tower, also known as Centre Point. Commonwealth Bank, one of Australia's leading banks. Someone just broke some dishes behind us. Got a Ferris wheel that wasn't there the other day, so it's obviously just to come there. You see it's temporary. Food delivery bike. As we make our way towards Australian National Maritime Museum and the ferry wharf, Piedmont Bay. Australian flag flying at half mast. Not sure why, when someone's died. Of national importance. View of the Piedmont Bridge. Now approaching the main entrance to the Australian National Maritime Museum. The museum opened in 1992. I know that because I was in the Navy Reserves at the time, and I had to come here for the opening of the museum. As you can see, plenty of food delivery bikes doing about their business. A shot of the Centre Point Tower, the Australian flag. Not sure what the older ships are. I think I know one's the Endeavour, the replica of Captain James Cook, the ship that sailed out here to discover Australia. 1772, I think it was. This Navy ship number 11 is the old HMAS Vampire that got decommissioned in the, I think, early 80s, maybe 85, 86. That's a fairly old one. The museum's quite big, as you can see. It goes all in there, and it has all the ships which you're entitled to go on and have a look around. This old one's the something replica. You can have a read of that, or you can look on your left. To you, Paddy. Alright, moving ahead. It's the Vampire. One of the old Oberon class submarines there, Paddy. Australia now has the Collins class submarines. The Oberon class submarines got decommissioned about early 90s, I think, 92, 90, probably mid 90s actually. That big building in front of us, the big tall one, that's the new casino, Sydney Star City Casino, opened by, operated by James Packer, one of the media people. The old TAC class patrol boat out there. They got decommissioned, let's say 81-ish. There's actually a TV series on them on YouTube called Patrol Boat. If you YouTube Patrol Boat, you'll be able to watch the Australian TV series. Then went to the Fremantle class patrol boats, and now the Armidale class patrol boats. Mainly the patrol boats operate in Australia for up north for foreign fishing, illegal fishing in Australia from Indonesians into like countries and boat people.
I got a photo on the shit of wiping my ass, mate.
Fantastic.
I love it.
As regards to Karen, did he tell you about the crew?
Yeah, what?
Coming to the end of the Maritime Museum, I think this ship here is the Endeavour replica, the one that Captain Cook sailed on. Look at a bit of view around here. There's another old sailing ship there. Yeah, it's the Endeavour replica. The one that Captain James Cook sailed on to discover Australia. A lot of foreigners around here, Paddy. Piedmont Bay, Ferry Terminal Wharf, which are coming back to Circular Quay. Here's a map up here, I'll just explain to you where we are. So I'll zoom out a bit. We're here. We're actually going to go back around to about here. It's off the map, but that's the main city of Sydney there. Harbour Bridge is up here. Opera House is here. Well, it's not on the map there. To get around on public transport, you use the Opal card. You touch on. It says there, but they have like $11 or $12 cap today, so I think I've already used my $11 cap, so I can pretty much ride on public transport for the rest of the day for free. And the weekly cap's $50, so by Friday I'd already used my $50 from last Sunday. So pretty much all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, I was riding free of charge on the public transport. And there it is there. Just the final sweep. I'll get back to you for some more Paddy Pinero Pacific commentary later on. See you, Paddy. Well, welcome to part 2 of the video tour, Paddy, and just waiting for the ferry to come across down here at Piedmont Bay. Back next to the Endeavour sailing ship here. And we can see our ferry just departing Banger-Roo. It's coming over here. So these ferries are operated by Sydney Ferries. You know the Sydney Ferries because they're coloured green and yellow, like this one here. And these ferries are being phased out in March, actually. So they're going to be all privatised. So these are operated by the state government of New South Wales, and they're actually going to be privatised in March. So the last Sydney ferry of this type will have its last day in March, which is so it's pretty good. I got up here this time of the year to experience the Sydney ferries for one last time. So these have been around since the 80s.
Is the best service to Circular Quay, stopping at Barangaroo, Balmain East, McMahon Point, Milton Point and Circular Quay.
Face masks are mandatory on public transport in the Greater Sydney, Blue Mountains, Central Coast and Wollongong areas. Fines will apply.
So you got to wear a face mask on public transport here in New South Wales or Sydney, in the Greater Sydney metro area. Right, let's board. Hang on, I just won't board yet. Okay, let's hop on soon, Paddy. Just moving on to the ferry now, Paddy. We'll go down the back. We'll head up the front as we come into more scenic territory. The reason for going down the back here, actually, Paddy, I just want to get some shade. Obviously, the Australian sun's pretty hot and you burn quite easy. Here's a pretty good spot, I reckon. Just might take some photos while we also film our departure out of Pyrmont Bay. Alright, so we're going to head over to this ferry wharf just over there. That's Bengaroo. It's a new suburb of Sydney City, a lot of apartments there and obviously the casino. This old warehouse has turned into harbourside apartments now. Probably go for about $4 or $5 million, you'd imagine. That ship there is the James Craig. It does have some kind of significant history, although I can't recall it. Oh, it would have been available on the internet. It's called the James Craig. As we depart the Maritime Museum, the old attack class patrol boat over there. 7 Point Tower. On our way across to Bengaroo. These are party boats here, obviously you can get out for hire. Macquarie is a bank and insurance company. Westpac up there, the W, that's a bank. These are all apartments and hotels here. This is a video for Paddy Pinero in Buffalo, New York, coming from Sydney, Australia. Sydney Harbour. Sydney was the first settlement of Australia, 1788, 26th of January. Captain James Cook's men arrived at Port Botany. Alright, so I think we're just waiting for the Parramatta Rivercat ferry over there, that green one, to move out of the way. That's operated by Sydney Ferries as well, although it's not its traditional colour, but it's a Rivercat ferry. Heads up the Parramatta River to this town of Parramatta. We're going to dock here at Bengaroo. This is Bengaroo, the new suburb here in Sydney. And of course we got the new casino there, Crown Casino. Operated by Crown, same company as Melbourne. See that by the top of the Crown that's up on top of the building there. So I need two hands, I need one hand to at least hang on. We're here parking at Bengaroo. I'll go back to you with a new video upon leaving Bengaroo, and I'll send this one off just to keep it down to under 6 minutes. Well, welcome back to part 3 of the special video tour for Paddy Pinero in Buffalo, New York. We're just part of the Banger Ferry terminal. As you know, we started our ferry journey over there underneath the museum at Piedmont Bay. We've gone across to Banger. We're just part of Banger, and now we're going around the outskirts of the city of Sydney on Sydney Harbour, Australia, for part 3 of the special video tour for Paddy Pinero. That's the ferry deckhand there, he's just pulled in the lines. It's a nautical term for what they call ropes. And we're on the Sydney ferry. And we start to see there the images of the Harbour Bridge. Which is famous for Sydney, like an icon. Over here we've got some old warehouses and shipping warehouses, and now converted into apartments. Probably go for about $5 to $6, $7, $8 million each. You can see by their pleasure craft over there, certainly for the rich people. Just back to the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which we see over there. A famous Australian called Paul Hogan, who later went on to become Crocodile Dundee, actually worked on the Harbour Bridge as it was being constructed in the late 1950s, I do believe. Harbour Bridge used to connect the northern suburbs to the Sydney city and to the greater eastern suburbs of Sydney. Also now, in about, I think, the late 1980s, we now got a harbour tunnel which goes underneath the harbour as well. So the Harbour Bridge is 5 lanes, I do believe. 3 lanes for northbound crossing and 2 lanes for come back into the city. And we've got the harbour tunnel, which is 2 lanes each. We're heading over to Balmain East, which we'll just cross over here to pick up some more passengers. You can see Sydney Harbour today. It's about 26, 27 degrees, which will be about 75 degrees US. Slight breeze on the harbour, and we're heading over to Balmain. That big bridge over there is the, I think it's the Global Bridge, or it could be the Iron Cove Bridge. I'm actually not sure. I'll have to go back to that one. We're now heading over to Balmain East. I'm sure this ferry guy's looking to get paranoid about the filming constantly, so I'll just give him a little break and we'll just focus on the Harbour Bridge there. So we're on the Sydney ferry and we're heading to Circular Quay. Sydney Harbour does not discriminate between big boats and small boats. Little boats of all sizes are quite welcome and quite frequent the harbour area. Just some more information on the Harbour Bridge. So the Harbour Bridge used to have, look, actually there's a train going across the Harbour Bridge, so you also have a rail network that goes across the Harbour Bridge. You see there the train going across. Harbour Bridge used to have toll gates or toll booths where you had to stop and pay your money, but now it has all the electronic tags or electronic toll, probably similar to the USA. You can actually go for a walk or a guided tour of the Harbour Bridge up over the top of the bridge. So you go all the way up there. It costs about, I think, maybe $200 a person, but you can certainly start here and you climb up the steps there to the top of the Harbour Bridge. As we go under it, we might even see some people on it. I'll try to keep a lookout for you. Australian flag, New South Wales flag there flying on top of the bridge, but for the cheaper person, the pylon that's furthest away from us, you can actually climb up there. It's called the Pylon Lookout, up to the very top there. Should be just, it's hard to say, but that's my finger trying to point out, but I'm on Zoom, so it makes my finger a little big, but you can certainly climb up there to the Pylon Lookout, and that's about $27. Bicycles are also welcome on the ferry, and you actually put your bike up on these hooks there. Alright, we're on the move again from Balmain East, and we're heading over to Luna Park, or commonly actually down Mahon's Point first, before we get to Luna Park. As we pick up pace here. We get a good view of the Harbour Bridge. Run up to it. Looking back at Darling Harbour and Banger. You see the old ferry does have a bit of speed. Again, these are old walls where the old cargo ships come in. Now made out to be apartments. You see that yacht there? It's in the ferry truck right away over ordinary sailboats. Ordinarily, we should give away to the, if we remember boat, we should give away to the yacht, which the ferry's going to generously do for this blue one you see up there. This one here, you have to change course. You might have heard before, Paddy, I mentioned Fort Denison. Fort Denison's an old harbour, World War II defensive station. It's a harbour. This is the old Japanese World War II. As we sail towards the Harbour Point, we have views of the Opal House. I'll zoom out here and I'll conclude this video here. I'll be back with part 4 very soon once we leave Mahan's Point and we head over towards Circular Quay. I think maybe, is that people up on the harbour bridge? Hard to say. We normally tour the other side actually. But yeah, Paddy, when you come on down, you'll be doing all this no doubt. We're going to head over to Mahan's Point just over there. Luna Park's a theme park. Have a train coming across the harbour bridge. Welcome back to part 4 of the special video tour for Paddy Panera and anyone else interested in the USA. Now we have a train coming back over to the Harbour Bridge, heading back into the city area. As we generate a lot of power, we pull away from the Mahan's Point ferry wharf. Down for our next destination, I think it's going to be Luna Park just over there, before we head in between the bridge and the Opera House into Circular Quay. Here you see Centrepoint Tower over there, penetrates above all city buildings. As we just sail past the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House there. Just over here, you can see the Navy ship. That's our fleet base east, home of the Royal Australian Navy's East Coast assets. That's a new Navy ship there, the HMAS Supply. I don't think it's commissioned yet. It's going to be a replenishment ship to refuel ships, stores, fuel, various things whilst it's underway. And just as appearing over there, that big ferry, that's the Manly Ferry. And the little one, the bigger one there. This heads over across to Manly. Sydney Opera House, I think it's a well-known landmark. Most Americans should know. Of course, the Harbour Bridge, which we discussed before. Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan used to actually work on that before he became a star, which ultimately led him to be the Crocodile Dundee. Just heading past Luna Park. This is a carnival type environment. Not sure if we're stopping at Luna Park. It's actually called Milson's Point. But yep, here we come into Luna Park, and as you can see, we're quite near the bridge here. As I said, on the other side, you can climb up the top of the pylon there for $27. And get some good views of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Sydney's a very multicultural place there for diversity. And face masks are required on all Sydney public transport. As we look at the bridge there. and I'll just head back on the other side of the ferry to get a better view of the bridge for you. Alright, here we are, still at the Milson's Point Learner Park, and we're just having a look at the Sydney Harbour Bridge here. That flag you see flying up there is the actual New South Wales state flag. Similar to the USA, all states have their own flag as well. Plenty of boats out in the harbour today. Oh look, there's an old Navy landing craft. Right, welcome back to the, this will be part 5 of the Paddy Pinero special. What happened, Navy landing craft over there? I just stopped the video before to get an actual film of the Navy landing craft for someone else. We've got one going over there, we've got another one heading under. Well, there's a few more too, look at that. This is extraordinary. Got to hang on a little bit. And our destination is Circular Quay. As we sail away from Milson's Point. Passenger terminal, this ferry here, the river cat service goes up to Parramatta, and I'll just go on the other side of the ferry for you, get the Opera House. As you see there's a couple more ferries coming in. Sydney Opera House here, as we discussed before, and Fort Denison out there. We've got the Manly Ferry coming up behind us. Another ferry over there coming in, that's the type of ferry that we're on. And the River Cat, and the Navy landing craft going behind the Manly Ferry. So as you see, it's quite a busy place, Sydney Harbour. As we come in here, Sydney Opera House. Sydney Harbour Bridge. It's all happening on Sydney Harbour. It's Monday afternoon. And we're coming here from Sydney, Australia. And this special video for Paddy Pinero, Buffalo, New York, and anyone else Paddy wishes to see. And just a message for all Paddy's friends that if any of Paddy's friends want to come down to Australia, by all means, we'll get Paddy to hook you up with me, and I'll take care of you. This is a new private Manly type ferry. Manly fast ferry it's called. The should have Manly on the slow Manly ferry takes about half hour. This takes about 20 minutes, goes a bit faster. So I think these blue ones are going to replace the old Sydney Harbour public transport ferries of the green and yellow nature. That's where the cruise ships come in. And as you see, we're coming into Circular Quay. Actually, we normally come into Wharf 2. Sorry, Wharf 5, but we come into Wharf 2 here. That's okay though. More harbourside apartments, living. So I just realised I didn't have my face mask on too. Ooh. Supposed to wear a face mask on public transport, but I don't mind. Oh, down the back of no one else. So. Sydney Ferry narrowbeam coming in. Jesus Christ. Alright, looks like we're getting off the ferry here, Paddy, and I'll get back to you a bit later on. I was actually just talking to the deckhand there, Paddy, and these ferries are still going to continue to run. It was actually the Manly ferries were going to be decommissioned and privatised, but they've been given an extra month. That's the ferry that week's just come off. As we head up to Circular Quay, so we're going to catch the bus in 15 minutes to visit my friend. So we swipe out. And this here, Paddy, is Circular Quay.